Welcome everybody to the Learning Tube session, here for another exciting session this Thursday. These sessions are to just let you know things that you can use in your business to progress, or just things that you need to know in general to make sure that you're being successful in all that you do. If you aren't in the Learning Tube group, we saw the link just dropped by Dadrian. Thank you, Dadrian. Make sure that you reach out to join the group, post in the group, ask questions, let us know what's going on so that we can interact with you. So make sure that you're part of the Learning Tube group. We post the replays of all sessions in the group, as well as it's sent via email. And also you can find the replays on the I can't say replay page on the learningtube.com. So make sure that you check out those different avenues for the replay. Now today, I want to talk to you about troubleshooting. Now, you always use your computer to use it for different tasks, whether it be earning as freelancers, doing daily tasks, helping your children with homework, whatever you're using your computer for. But there are things that may go wrong with the computer, and it's good to identify what the issues may be so that you can get them fixed quickly. Why don't you want to delay? Why do you want to get these things fixed quickly? Time is money. It can prevent you from earning, it can prevent you from doing what you need to do. So it's good to know about these particular issues so that you can do something about it. Now give me a one, and I'm sure the chat is going to be filled. Like, have you ever had a computer issue? Put a one in the chat. Have you ever had a computer issue? I should see ones filling the chat area, because if you've never had a computer issue, I need to meet you in person and take a picture with you, because you are really, really someone who everyone needs to see, because you're definitely the odd one out. So I see a lot of ones. We've all had computer issues. Of course. Yes. Duri, I see one, like what's that, 10 ones? We've all had computer issues. And some of them can be a simple fix. Sometimes we call in technicians to fix something that we're able to fix on our own, just if we had the knowledge. So it's good to know some of these issues and how some of them you're able to troubleshoot on your own. Of course, identify when you need help. We don't want anybody to be destroying their device. So don't try to fix something on your own if you are not knowledgeable and know what you're doing. Please, disclaimer, I don't want anybody to say, have you told me to do it? Nope, I didn't tell you. I'm giving you the knowledge, and then you get the professional to fix it, right? Deal? Yes, please don't be destroying your computers and blaming it on me, all right? So heading on over to start today's session. So we're going to be looking on maximizing your computer's potential, mastering troubleshooting. So a lot of you said, hey, I have trouble with my computer from time to time. Tell me some of the issues that you've had with your computer. Like, what's the main issue you've ever experienced with your computer? And I'm sure it's going to vary from person to person, but there will be common issues, and that's what I will be discussing in this particular session. But you hear the word troubleshooting being tossed around, but what really does it mean to say that you're troubleshooting? So when you're troubleshooting, you're referring to the process of identifying, diagnosing, and resolving issues that arise in your computer system. So you have to know what it is, see what the problem could be to fix it, and of course, resolve it. Whether you can resolve it or you need a professional to do so. So this can include hardware problems. So we know those who have printers, sometimes your printer, a common printer problem is not connecting. You're trying to print, it's not picking up what you're trying to print. Your monitor may not be turning on. Your monitor is flickering. All sorts of stuff. Software errors. I mean, we have that all the time. A particular program is frozen. Why is that the issue? Network issues. From you're on the internet, trust me, every day you're going to have network issues. What are the possible reasons for that? Or there are other technical difficulties. So troubleshooting often involves a systematic approach to identifying the root cause of the problem, determining potential solutions, and implementing a fix. We need to know how to fix these problems, all right? So Diana, You said right now the issue is connecting with the printer. Common problem that persons have with printing. It's best to get someone who definitely knows what to do to help you. Freezing. Oh my gosh, freezing. My computer runs slow, often freezes up, won't connect to the internet. Freezing. I knew that slow and freezing would be common problems. That was the first problem that I was looking to see persons talk about. And that's actually one of the first common computer issues that I'll be talking about. Freezing, slow. What causes your computer to move slowly, freeze up on you? So we see Anna Marie saying frequent notice to buy, that you need to buy more software, more storage, and you refuse. Keep fighting the fight, Anna Marie, but guess what? More storage, that's a problem as well if you don't have enough storage. So Denise, you're saying virus issues and so on. So let's look at the first, the most common one of the most common problems. Slow performance. So we saw a lot of you talking about your computer performing slowly. So slow performance, you know what it is. The computer is not performing tasks as quickly as it should, and it takes longer to open a program, load a web page, or perform other tasks than it used to. So I'm sure some of you may open a web page, you go, you have breakfast, you play with the kids, you play with the dogs, you say hi to the neighbor, and you come back inside and the web page hasn't loaded, right? Has that happened to you? I'm just saying it takes a really long time. Like you say, okay, how did I click it? And then sometimes you click, 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 and that doesn't help either, because multiple clicks sometimes help with the freezing and the slow performance. So you don't want to do that. Once you know that you have clicked and selected, leave it alone, let it do what it should. So what are some of the reasons why you may have slow performance? And note that this list, of course, is not exhausted, but it's 3 of the more common reasons why your computer may be performing slow. Now, some of the examples that I'll be giving, like showing you where to find things, are on a Windows computer. So if you have a Mac, the principles are the same for you, but where to find it may be different. And of course, upgrading, you may not have the option to upgrade certain things in your computer. So one of the main reasons, overheating. Has your computer ever overheated? How do you know? When we're talking about using a laptop, if you feel the bottom of the laptop and it's hot, or you feel the heat coming from the laptop, that's not normal. It's not supposed to be that hot that you're feeling the heat rise like you're in the Jamaican sun. No. So overheating can be caused by poor ventilation. So if your fans, for those who didn't know, your computer, laptop I'm referring to with these examples, your laptop has fans in it. Some small fans, some have 2, some have 3, depending on the type of laptop. And if the vents where those fans are blowing to keep your computer cool are blocked, you're going to have problems with overheating. So when you're keeping your laptop on a certain surface, don't have it on a surface that's made of fabric. You are going to have poor ventilation. So you want to, if you have to have it on that kind of surface, elevate it. So maybe have it propped up on something that's not going to block the vents and such. Dust accumulation. Do you know that dust is getting in your computer? Who knew? Do you know? In fact, I actually saw how much dust was accumulating in my computer. My husband is the computer tech of the family. And he's always saying, oh my gosh, Ava, you need to clean your computer, you need to clean your computer. And I'm delaying because I'm working and I'm using it. I don't want anything to stop the work. And it came to a point where my computer was so hot, when it smells like something is burning. Because guys, yes, you can fry the circuit board in the computer. You can damage things in the computer with heat. So overheating is a serious, serious problem. So I finally gave in when I was smelling like something was frying, not like something is on the fire, and I say, hey, I don't want to lose my computer. And when he opened it, guys, when he used what's called compressed air. For those who don't know, you can buy air in a can. So it's not a case of you're not blowing it out with your breath, but you're using compressed air. And when I tell you the poof of the dust, you'll be surprised how much can accumulate in there. and be clogging what it shouldn't. So other reasons can cause the hardware components to fail and lead to slow computer performance. So yes, your computer overheating can cause it to move slow. So main problem persons have, their laptop is not on a surface that allows it to breathe. You know those little desks that they have, that you can maybe use it while sitting down over a couch in your bedroom and so on. Those are good to use as well. But you don't want to have your laptop, if you're using it in bed, which some of us do, directly on the bed. You want to have it on a surface that's not being blocked by any fabric. So Kat, you're saying I keep my laptop on a cooling pad that stays plugged into a USB port, stay cool on my lap. Yes, they do sell cooling pads. They do sell contraptions that you can put your laptop on that has an extra fan that's blowing to keep it cool. And of course, if you have the means of having air conditioned area to have your laptop used, then that's best as well. All right. So that's one reason, main reason for your slow performance of your computer overheating. Definitely poor ventilation, dust accumulation. And if you have pets like me, best believe those pet hairs are not only going in our lungs, they're going into the computer as well. All right, so storage space. So who was saying that it's keep on asking them to buy storage? So I don't know, Anna Marie, you're saying it's asking you to buy storage. I don't know if it's asking you for storage for your laptop itself. Some computers do require additional storage for storing things, but you may want to consider it depending on what's going on with your computer. All right, so storage space. So did you know that if your hard drive is full or near to being full, it can slow down the performance of your computer? Did you know that? And as there is less space available for the computer to use as temporary storage. All right, so if you're like me, I fill up my hard drive space quite quickly. I do a lot of video editing, and videos are large, so they tend to fill up the space. So what you need to do first and foremost to know if your storage space is being used up, you need to know where to go and check it. So remember I told you that for your computer, I'm going to be showing you a Windows computer where to find things. All right. So, and Janice, you're saying it crashes too when near full. It may, depends. Crashing is usually another issue, but storage space necessarily won't cause it to crash if you have lack of storage space. So Diana, you said yours is near being full, you need to purge. So I purge from time to time to make sure that I am not having this issue. So whenever I see my computer moving slowly, I say, hey, it's time to purge. So Denise, you're saying I should now start using that little table because it's just there. Yes. So don't have the risk of overheating, and you do have the means to use it. So make sure. So how do you check your storage? So here I have my taskbar on my computer. So you can right click on the start button and you're going to go to File Explorer. And in File Explorer now, you usually see your This PC icon right here, over here, right here on the left. And when you click on it, it's going to show you your storage, your hard drive. Now, I have two hard drives in my laptop. So one is I think it's 500 gig, and the other one is a terabyte. So you notice that this one is in the red because based on the storage I have, based on what I have free, that's critical. That's not a lot of space based on what's going on. So this is a warning that I need to start purging. Guys, I've gone to where it's told me that I have 100 megabyte free. And by the way, have you ever zeroed it out? I've had cases where it told me zero free. Do not do that, guys. You're not doing your computer any justice. Not doing it any justice. And this happens because we're not keeping track, you're going through the motions of doing the job, and you realize that your space is going until it tells you blink, not enough space, or your computer starts to move slow. All right. So Janice, you have a 2 terabyte external storage. Yes, you can use external storage to back up instead of using your internal storage. And you can move stuff to yes, you can move stuff. So I have stuff that I back up on Google Drive, but some of the stuff that I purge, I don't need to have it anyway. So I need it to purge. So it's not a case where I'm purging what I need. You can have your backup of what you need and store that on Google Drive, but I didn't need the things I'm purging, so I can do so. So always check your storage from time to time to see how low it is. If it's in the red, start purging or backing up somewhere else, because that means that you're soon are going to be out of storage depending on how fast you're moving. All right. You don't want it to reach the case of what I have had, where I've had zero. It tells me zero storage. All right. So can you do the same for an Apple MacBook? So Ashley, do the same with what? Are you saying to check your storage, purge? You are able to purge regardless of the type of computer that you're using, but I was saying that where to find certain things, because I'm using a Windows, I wouldn't be able to show you where to find that. All right. So all the principles that I'm talking about here have to do with all computers, but I'm just saying that where you would find certain things may be different. So Katya is saying, oh golly, me too. But that would take forever for me to go through everything. So no, I'm not going through every single file that I have, I'm purging new things. I'm purging maybe what I did over a month. Trust me, old files are there, old files are still there. So you're just purging in bulk based on time when you've used something. So I'm not going through 3 years worth of files and saying, no, let me purge. I'm just purging recent stuff. So that's one reason why your computer may be moving slow. Storage. You're running out of storage. So RAM, insufficient RAM, random access memory. Anybody knows about that? It should be a term you have heard, random access memory, RAM. Now with RAM, anything that you're using on your computer, once you have it open, it's being stored in what we call RAM. So if your computer does not have enough RAM to handle the programs that are running, it can cause it to move slow. So if I have this Canva, this is a Canva presentation. I have this open. I have opened some other programs. I have another tab, like 10 million tabs open. Anything that I have open is being stored in RAM, where I can access it and use it when I need to. But if I don't have a large storage of RAM, it's gonna start moving slow. So how do you know if you have RAM, how much RAM or so that you have? There's a way to check that too. So Katya is saying sometimes I have 40 to 50 tabs open. That's not good. So let's look and see how we go about checking our RAM. All right. So here where it says type here to search, you can click there and type about. You can see about your PC. So this lets you see the specs. Ever hear people talk about the specs of your PC? What are your specs? Meaning how much RAM you have, hard drive, operating system. This is what's going to show you all of that thing. So here it says device specification. So this of course, this is from my computer. Yours will be different. So it says it's a Legion 5, blah, blah, blah. It has a device name. It tells the type of processor it has, the type of graphics card, the speed of the processor. That's what the 290 gigahertz is. Installed RAM. So my computer has 16 gigabytes of RAM. And nowadays, I would think that's the minimum you should have. Based on what we're doing nowadays, that's really the minimum that you should have when it comes to RAM. Now, RAM comes with your computer. It's not something that you, the layman, is going to put in unless you have the knowledge. Now, some laptops allow you to upgrade your RAM. This is something that you have to open up the laptop and add it in the relevant slots that are there. If there are empty slots and slots available for you to add RAM. But if it's not, then you wouldn't be able to upgrade your RAM. You'd have to upgrade your entire computer if you want to make it faster when it comes to RAM. If you do have upgrade capability, then if you have the knowledge to do so, or you get professional help and say, hey, I want to upgrade my laptop, I want to put more RAM, and so on. A technician can get that done for you. So here are the other specs that you can see. This particular computer, I've had it for 3 years, I think 3 years. And it has some other information here. So if anybody asks you, hey, what's the specs of your computer? Just search in the search bar about, and you can see the specs of your computer. So you can get specific information. For instance, the device ID and product ID. Sometimes when you're buying parts for the computer, you need to know specifically what the computer is, that detail. So you know specifically what parts go for that. That's how you would check your RAM. So as I said, this it's not exhausted, but these are really the main reasons why you will have slow performance with your computer. All right, so some of these you can explore if you're having the slow performance to see which one of these is the main reason for you doing so. Now, the storage is something that you yourself can do. You can do your purging or you can do backup. So I would start with this because this is definitely something you yourself can do. Where it comes to overheating, be conscious of where you're storing, or I should say, putting your files, your computer itself, where you're having it on the surface. So these are some of the possible solutions. We talked about some of them a while ago. So where overheating is concerned, you want to make sure that the surface allows for proper ventilation. Get the dust in your computer removed if that's the case. And guys, as a part of maintenance, from time to time, it is suggested to get your computer dusted, your inside of your computer blown out. Push, get out the dust that's in there. And where the fan is concerned, you'll know if your fan needs to be changed. If you put your hand, usually at the side, some computers are the fans are at the side or at the back. If you don't feel any air or anything blowing from your computer, you're not supposed to be hearing a sound. Sound is not good. If your fan is making a sound, no, that's not good. But if you put your hand at the sides of the laptop or at the back and you're not feeling any air blowing from it, then chances are your fan may have gone bad and that's causing your laptop to overheat. Storage, we said it. We said remove it, purge, delete, or you can back up certain files so that you can have more space. And we talked about upgrading where you can increase your RAM. Not all laptops give you upgrade capability and not all laptops allow upgrading. All right, so Kat, you're saying there's something else I've realized that will make my laptop slow. That's when I need my browser updated. Yes, we're going to talk about those things, and it really rebels until I do it. And you know, from time to time, your computer itself may want to do system updates. So that's another reason why your computer could be moving slow. It usually tells you, hey, you need to do an update. And you know, we delay because we're so busy doing other things. And then it starts to move slow and we start to get grumpy. And then we said, hey, it's time to get this done. All right. So check that out if you're going through slow performance of your computer. Now, once we're on the internet, we're going to have these issues. Internet connectivity is another common issue. Yes, internet connectivity, I'm sure it is. So what's that all about? We know when your computer is refusing to connect, and there may be unstable connection as well. For those who use Zoom, we know that infamous message that comes up, what? Your internet is unstable. Zoom is so helpful, telling us, hey, your internet is wacky, acting wacky. So what are the reasons for this? Now, your modem or router may be having issues. Sometimes it's malfunctioning. The software on it is outdated. It doesn't have the right settings. Now, sometimes whoever installed, or I should say, brought in the equipment for your internet, they may have given you instructions on what you need to do when it comes to your router and modem. So if they did that, then you know that it's time to check and see what the issue may be. Maybe just that it needs to just be plugged out and plug back in. Do you know you could do that? For those who didn't know, you can plug out your router and plug it back in. Sometimes that, well, not sometimes, that actually does a reset and usually causes you to have faster connection. Network congestion. We know that since COVID, a lot of persons are on the internet and that can cause network congestion. There are peak hours that it doesn't even make any sense to use the internet at that time. Depending on the kind of connection you have, you may be victim to this, but sometimes depending on the kind of connection you have, you're not affected. So it all depends on what you have. So this occurs when too many users are trying to access the internet at the same time, leading to slow internet speeds and connection drops. And guys, connection drops can lead to so many problems. Sometimes if you are accessing a software a tool for something. Courses, you may think that, hey, the course platform is the problem, or the software is not working right, or the website is having an issue. And the main issue is connectivity. Connectivity gives us a very bad online experience when we're going through anything on the internet. So you have to be aware of the reasons this could be. And software issues, such as incorrect configuration settings, outdated software, malware infections. We saw Denise said she had virus issues. This can cause internet connectivity issues as well. So be aware of those. So how can we fix this? How can we fix it? So I talked about the router. Turn it off. Turn it off, guys. Just plug it out and plug it back in. But don't do it same time. Plug it out, maybe count to 20. Of course, it's a random number. And then plug it back in. This is basically a reset. Now, we know that a lot of these routers and modems have a reset button. But trust me, nothing works better than plugging it out from its direct source of electricity, power, and then plugging it back in. How would you feel if you called in the technician and say, hey, I'm having internet issues. Internet is moving so slowly. And you call them in, you waited 3 hours, you're delaying with your work, you have a client meeting that you can't attend because you have no internet connection moving well and they can't go on the Zoom, you missed your meeting, everything took 3 hours for the technician to come, and all they did was what? What was the fix? They plugged it out and they plugged it back in. How would that make you feel? Let me know in the chat. How would that make you feel? So sometimes these are things that you can explore for. And by the way, it's not just for them to plug it out and plug it back in. They're going to charge you too. You're going to get charged. So always try to, if you're having this kind of problem, plug it out, plug it back in. And of course, it's going to take time for it to come back up depending on how long your connectivity, different things has to go through when it connects. Has that ever happened to anybody? You call in a technician and what they did as a fix, it was so simple. As you know, that ad was saying, it's so easy, a caveman could do it. You thought to yourself, why didn't I think of that? Or if only I knew that that was what I needed to do. I wasted all this time and all they did was plug it out and plugged it back in. Or whatever easy fix that they did. They did something that you say, oh my God, that was so easy. Like I could have done it myself if I knew, right? And yeah, they may not let you know. Yeah, we're not gonna let you know. Because the whole point is to call them back if you have the problem. All right. So, and chances are you're going to have to pay. Most technicians are not gonna come out for free. They're not gonna come out for free. It took them time and energy, gas, time to come to fix your problem that you could have fixed yourself. So believe it or not, a good plug out and plug in fixes a lot of computer issues. So that's what you're going to do with the router. When it comes to network congestion, maybe you just have to try a different time of the day outside of peak hours. So if you're an early bird, early in the morning, you shouldn't have as much traffic on the internet, and late at night, you shouldn't have as much traffic. So you can try that if that's what your problem with your internet. And of course, we know that internet connection varies. Some types of connections that you're going to get, you're not going to have these problems at all. So it all depends. And software issues, you need to update your software, such as your operating system. Remember who was saying it? Kat, was it you that was saying it, that it's moving slowly, so you know that it needs to be updated. Your browser, same as your operating system, your antivirus. When these things are asking for updates, guys, don't delay. There's a reason that they want to update. So take the time, make the computer restart, wait for it. When it tells you, don't shut down, don't plug out, wait where, it's running through the percentage, all those stuff. Wait for it to do what it needs to do, because it needs to do it. It's very important for it to go through all that particular motion. All right, so very, very important. Now we know the big bad virus, malware infections. Who has ever had a virus? And I mean computer virus. Have you ever experienced a computer virus? It's not nice. It's not nice. It's malicious software that's designed to harm, disrupt, control your computer system without your knowledge or consent. The virus is not going to ask, can I infect your computer? It's just going to go at it. It's just going to go at it. So that's why you say, oh, yes, And I don't like the enthusiasm of that. Oh, yes. It should be, oh, yes, and then maybe a sad face, right? So then you just say you're going through one right now. So those things aren't pretty. You need to make sure that you have a proper antivirus software using to help, because sometimes you may have the software and these sneaky leaky things come and infect your computer. So what can cause you to have a virus? From we're on the internet, we're exposed to malicious links or pop-up ads. Oh, there are some websites that pop up like it's popping, literally. So there are so many pop-up ads that you get confused. Sometimes some of these pop-up ads have some buttons that are really encouraging you to click on it, like, hey, download or get this. You're a winner. You're the 1 millionth, that one. You're the 1 millionth, whatever, to come on the site, and all these nice, attractive things that they want you to click on. Don't click on it. You also have, and I'm going to show you something, well, not show you like what to click on. I'm not going to click on it, but possible things. So here it says, once opening infected email attachments, common assault, plus links in emails. We know that these are phishing attempts. They send from banking websites, PayPal. They're gonna send, hey, something, it always have some urgency. Something is wrong with your account. You need to go in now and access. Who has ever gotten that kind of email? Amazon in quotation, Amazon is sending you emails and saying, hey, your account has been compromised, or your account has been blocked, and you don't even have an Amazon account. I got so many Amazon in quotation emails, and I don't even have an Amazon account telling me that my account has been blocked, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, outdated software. You have to make sure that you update when you're told to update, because these software, every update is including things that are trying to help to prevent you from getting viruses. They're updating it and saying, hey, we are aware of this other virus. Let's update our software to try to prevent it. So very important to note where that's concerned. Now, when it comes to, we talked about the email and what can happen with email and such. So you want to make sure that you are not clicking on certain email that's going to put you at risk in any way, shape, or form. All right. So when you are accessing your email, so here I have, this is just, let me see, I stopped the share. Sorry about that. Let me share again. All right, so here I am on an email, just one of my random emails. Now, you see a lot of emails from Alicia and Lorette. Now, this one, if you hover over the sender name, you get an idea of what's the email address. So if you know that the sender says PayPal, and then when you look at the email address, you see John, like, no, not even John, XY, exclamation, dot, at sign, all kind of things, that obviously that email could not have come from PayPal. You don't even want to click on it. You want to mark it as spam immediately. So sometimes you can hover over the sender and get an idea. Is this somebody I'm supposed to click on? And if you're suspicious about that particular email, you can check it this way. And if you know the email address, then you can click on it. Or if it looks like something that is something you can click on. So even without opening the email, you can get an idea of what the person's email is. Because most times you're going to open it and then look right here. But by the time you opened it, some emails, just opening it alone triggers the virus. The virus says, hello, thank you for letting me in. Woo! I'm going to get comfortable here on your computer and destroy everything. So you want to check that before you open the email. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. So also, as we said, any links, if there are any links in the email, that especially those banking emails that are telling you, hey, something is wrong with your account has been compromised, your account has been blocked, check this before blah, blah, blah. Close the email, sign into your bank yourself straight. Don't sign in from an email link, a button or such, because these buttons may be leading you to somewhere that wants to capture your information. So very, very important. Has that happened to anyone? Of course, that these companies or whatever are sending you emails that you know that, hey, this has been compromised, blah, blah, blah. Who has gotten those emails? I'm sure everybody here should say they've gotten this kind of email because it's very common for those kinds of emails to be sent out. And clues as well. We've talked about this in past sessions. You're going to have grammatical errors in the email. Certain things are going to be spelled incorrectly. I mean, Amazon can't even spell Amazon, different things like that. They're going to have things that are wrong in the email. So you know, it gives you an idea that, hey, something may be wrong with it. Not that because there's an error, it means something is definitely wrong, because of course people can make typos, but it's kind of typo is a warning sign that something is wrong. So another reason, the best way to delete thousands of email, the only thing that comes to me right now is the regular old-fashioned selecting all. Like on a particular page, there's a select all button, and you just do them just page by page until you're done. I'm not sure if there's an actual software. I'm sure there is, but you'd have to do some more research for that. I have thousands as well. I know what you mean. They add up, especially when we sign up for all kinds of different products and services. So possible solutions, we talked about it. Avoid visiting untrustworthy websites that have the pop-up ads and such. I didn't show you the ads part, but you know that there are certain sites that when you click on it, it's gonna pop up different kinds of things that look very interesting and inviting to click on. Sometimes they have download coming up, and you were supposed to download something, but it's not that download button you were to use. Oh my gosh. It's very confusing sometimes. And if you click on the wrong thing, it's detrimental. Here we talked about the infected mail. Don't open email from suspicious senders. Showed you how to check your mail sender email address before opening it if you are suspicious. And of course, always update your software when told, because the software update usually is something or some fix for some kind of virus or malware that they have encountered, discovered, and they're trying to help you with that. So don't delay. Nothing is more important than trying to get this done. All right. It's as we said, having viruses on your computer, never a good thing. So unwanted software or toolbars on your computer. Have you ever said, where did that come from? Like you're really doing a check, like you're on the internet and you said, that wasn't there before. Where did that come from? Or even on your computer itself, looking through your program files, like, where did that come from? Has it ever happened to you? What happens is that sometimes there's some random software that's tied to something that you did install. Like there's a hidden sneaky software there that if you didn't see that there was a button to uncheck or something to uncheck, it installed too, and you don't want it. And it may be something that may cause harm to your computer. So you have to be vigilant when you are actually putting things on your computer. Pay attention. Don't just click next. Who's guilty of just clicking next? When you're installing things on your computer or going through the motions, it says next. And what do? Click next. You don't even look to see what's on the screen when you're clicking next to, right? You have to read because they are relying on you not looking and not checking. And in the end, you're the one who's going to suffer when you have these things happening to your computer. So unwanted software or toolbars on your computer refer to additional programs or browser extensions that are installed on your computer without your consent or knowledge. But guess what? Sometimes it's with your consent because it said, do you want to install so and so? Or it may say, the check may say, this will install as well. Or even worse, it wants to be your default browser. Has anybody changed their browser and didn't even realize, oh my gosh, I used to use Google Chrome, and when I'm opening my browser, it's showing me Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge. Or it's showing, like I said, what happened? What happened to my main browser? You changed it and you didn't even know. So pay attention to what it's showing you. So it says here that bundled software. So this is where it really happens. When you're doing multiple software download and there's a sneaky software there that installs and you didn't even realize because you didn't uncheck the button. Downloading from untrusted sources. Sometimes they try to sneak in some softwares or even toolbars. On your internet browser, you may see a toolbar appear and I say, what? Where did this come from? It happened to me and I'm aware of these things. It can happen to anyone. That's why you know you need to pay attention to what's going on. That's why I said, where did this come from? And the reason I knew that that thing was there is that it was clashing with something else. And I said, I didn't install this. And these things happen, and you don't want it to happen to you. And you have freeware or shareware. Freeware, usually the software, most of it is free or all of it is free. Shareware, parts are free, parts are not. And it may have additional software that's trying to do things that you don't want it to do. Now, let's say for some reason you've installed something that you don't want and you don't want it anymore, you can go and uninstall it. All right, you can go and uninstall. So here on your taskbar, you can right click on the start button and you're going to go to settings. Remember, I'm doing for a Windows computer. So here you have apps, uninstall apps. So I'm still using Windows 10, so it may look a bit different if you're using Windows 11. Click on the apps, and it's going to list all the apps that you actually have installed on your computer. You would click the one that you want to uninstall. Obviously, I'm not going to uninstall any now, but let's say you click on it, and there's an uninstall button, and you go through the motions of uninstalling the particular program that you don't want. Some of them, yeah, they're tedious to uninstall. They say, are you sure? Can you give us feedback? Clicking this is going to uninstall it. Do you want that? They're making it difficult for you to uninstall. But once you're determined, read through and you'd go through the uninstall. Some of them may also say that if you want to remove all files that are associated with them, all files that are associated with that program, yes, take it off. You don't want anything from it. You don't want any remnants of that devious software that installed itself without your permission. Remove everything. So be sure to read carefully when you're going through the uninstall process, because some of these things don't want to go. Trust me, they don't want to go. They love your computer. They love, interacting with the different files and causing havoc. So they don't want to go. So they make it difficult for you to remove them from your computer if you're not reading the instructions carefully. So I saw Adrian just said, this information is needed. Hence, we bring it to you, because it's all well and good to say, all right, you're learning about the different tools, AI this, AI that, do that. And then your actual medium of using these tools is not functioning as it should. You're not going to get the best experience of your tools and resources if you have computer problems. Yes, do you agree? If your computer is having problems, you're not going to have the best experience using these particular tools. So you have to get your computer right. Trust me on this. When you see Gamma is freezing on you, the AI app for presentation tools, when you see you're trying to use Canva to do your video editing, oh my gosh, if you're a video editor and you have a slow moving computer, I'm sorry for you. And these things can be not life or death, but be costly, because if your computer is moving slowly, it can cost you a job. You were slow to answer that message because it took forever to load the page. Oh no, the page can't open. It can't be open. So you have to be aware of this. Is it okay to go back to the uninstall aspect of my discussion? When you say go back to it, what do you mean? Go back to how I get to uninstall? Let me know. So you have to make sure that you are doing these things when it comes to protecting your computer. It's your money maker. If anything happens to it, then you're going to have delay with what you need to get done. So pay attention to these things. The list is not exhausted. It was just 4 common things, common causes that people have with their computer, regardless of it being Mac or PC. So you said the process of uninstall. With a Windows PC, this particular process was to right click. There are different ways to get to it, but I right clicked on my start bar, which is usually on the bottom left. Then I went to settings, and then in settings, I went to right here, apps, uninstall, where it says that. And then I just saw my program list. I could search the list as well. And I would click on the one that I want to uninstall. Uninstall and get rid of it. Say, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, right? All right, guys, remember that the replay will be posted in the Facebook group as well as sent via email. It will be on the Learning Tube YouTube channel as well, for those who don't remember, so that you can catch it and see everything that you may have missed. All right, guys, thank you so much and have a great rest of the day. Anna Marie, I love that song too. All right, guys, bye.